Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at basically to cut a long story short, the panel missions that have come out. A new style of doing the campaign missions, I think, for the Brimming Power campaign. So it's very interesting actually how they've done this. It's obviously just the campaign missions that we've had before, but they've done it in the new panel format that they've kind of taken from their Greatest Warrior campaigns, which I think, ultimately is pretty cool. So for me, I think it's very interesting the way they've done this. I think it's very cool. So yeah, overall, I do think it's something that's quite awesome. Of course, yeah, basically for me, I think ultimately it is pretty good. So yeah, let's take a look at everything. So basically, overall, I think ultimately for me, very straightforward here. In terms of how to complete these missions, the first panel is very simple. A lot of them are going to correlate with you engaging in the Lord Slug DB story event. For example, one of the missions is to train a unit 3 times. There is to use certain units in the stage. There is to complete a certain number of stages. A lot of this will come from that event. There are other events that provide treasure that you could exchange, but you can also just exchange the green and blue gems as well. So all in all, it's actually a pretty straightforward first panel. There are 2 missions in particular that I am going to assist with. The first of those missions is obviously the training of a unit. Like I said, suggestion is the Int Kid Gohan. He's the latest release from the DB story event. He'll knock out a ton of missions doing this, but because he just got his Dokkan Awakening, training him from base will essentially give you this mission completed. So you get him, train him from base all the way to Dokkan Awakening him, and voila, you have it. Of course, the next mission that's going to cause people problems is going to be rainbow orbs. So there's a mission that requires you to get a set number of rainbow orbs in a stage. So for example, 7 of them. Now the thing is, overall, I'm going to be entirely honest with you. For me, functionally speaking, this is a lot easier in longer events, because in a longer event, every single rainbow orb you pick up in stages counts towards this challenge. So if you're doing any kind of longer event, you're probably going to get this easily. If you are specifically looking for ways to get rainbow orbs, then always when building your team, go to the search filter section, select the change orb skill, and just start examining your units to see who changes to rainbow key spheres. Honestly, this isn't a super difficult one, so I don't expect it to be difficult, but yeah. Then there is a little bit of a time-gated mission, so it requires you to do it requires you to do the Turtle School training event 3 times. Now, for some players who don't have a high power level, you're only able to challenge this once per day. So this is in theory time-gated over 3 days for new players. For veteran players, you can do 2 a day, so by the 2nd day, which is like me, you'll basically have this done, and it's just pretty straightforward and pretty easy. So that Turtle School training is going to be the one that is going to slow you down a little bit. Shouldn't be a major train smash, but obviously I think depending on who you are, how you like to play Dokkan, etc., could be a problem for you. If not, you should be fine. So yeah, once you've done all of that, then you are ready to move on to the next panel. So you can see here, basically we're just at the time gated stage. We'll jump ahead now to when we're not time gated. You can see me finish up the mission here, and that will unlock panel 2. Now panel 2 and panel 3 do not require you to do anything time gated. So once you've finished panel 1, you are basically ready to hop, skip and jump and slam out panel 2 and panel 3, which are both I would say relatively straightforward as well. So you shouldn't have any major issues there. Once you do finish a panel, you'll be able to collect the completion rewards, which in this case is just 1 dragon stone. The final panel gives you 5. So in total, I guess there's 7 for this, not including the missions within, which is pretty decent. This next one requires us mainly to do Extreme Z battles. This is relatively straightforward, as they've just released a ton of Extreme Z battles. LR ones, you also have the Heroine battle, which is quite relatively simple. For most players, I suggest, remember, it's just completing stages, so you don't have to, technically speaking, you don't have to do one from 1 to 30. You can do one from 1 to 5 and complete that same stage 10 times. In terms of picking up Zenny from stages, you can do the Hercule growth event as well if you want to, but you'll naturally pick up 77,000 or more Zenny, remember that's what it always means, pretty easily. So I wouldn't worry about that. Obviously, to cut a long story short, that's kind of it for this panel. There's not a lot else that you need to really worry about. Most of it is fairly simple. The category in this situation is demonic power, so all you have to do is use 3 units from demonic power once. You'll achieve this generally in the Lord Slug event if you use Namekians, or you'll just achieve it anyway if you just use demonic power. The panel 3 is Bond of Friendship, so that's also something you can do relatively easily as well. So yeah, obviously the final mission is just doing the intensive growth training event. This is the growth event where you can get yourself some skill orbs by doing the Whis event. It's not time gated, so you can just do your 3 attempts. It'll cost you 90 stamina and you're good to go. So we go and we do that, easy peasy lemon squeezy, and then afterwards we've unlocked panel 3. So yeah, I think so far these are all fairly straightforward. I like the new format. It's a bit weird that they have them locked behind panels, but you can complete the other panels while you complete the first one. So if you do Extreme Z battles while doing the first one, for example, it'll still unlock the others. So it's not like you have to do them in sequence or anything. A lot of the missions will just unlock naturally while you're progressing. So they are paneled, but they are not necessarily... They're paneled to collect the group rewards, but they're not necessarily, like in sequence paneled. So the next and final step is just to basically use a whole bunch of stamina to participate in a whole bunch of stages. You have to use some Bond of Friendship category units. You also need to equip a skill orb. This can be done through the hidden potential section using the orbs that you got from the intensive training event, the Whis one from earlier. So really here, there's nothing honestly too crazy. This is just consume stamina, finish events, etc. A lot of the times here, it'll correlate again. You probably will have used or done a lot of this while doing the DB story event. Usually you do equip skill orbs as you go along. If not, you just pick your new free-to-play characters and give them some baseline skill orbs. It's really a super simple thing. So in this way, the final missions are more just activity based. They're striving to make you use a certain amount of stamina, a certain amount of missions, etc. Obviously in an attempt to just get you to play the game. So there's nothing too special here. Yeah, they want you to use certain types of super attacks. You can sort by those in your filter section. So yeah, really it's honestly as simple as that. It's super duper simple, and you'll naturally do this. Like if you just include like one of each type in your team and go and run a whole bunch of events or growth events or anything like that, you'll just naturally complete these. So it's not a difficult process. But yeah, that kind of covers everything. Obviously, if you guys need any further help, you're welcome to let me know. But for me, honestly, it's very straightforward. And yeah, I think, enjoy. I like the new format. I think it is cool. It is better than going to the King Kai section. So I do think it's really awesome. You can collect the non-Dragon Stone rewards and that from your gift box. And yeah, just ultimately, I think it's cool. So that's it from me. Bye.